Hey VCE HHD students, my name's Andy, I'm a VCE Health and Human Development teacher. In this short video we're going to look at common command terms in VCE HHD, video number 1. Before we dive into this video, just a reminder there's a range of different ways to engage with the Health Resources Hub. We've got our YouTube channel, there's over 150 content videos, SAC and exam tips, and new videos are coming out each week during the school term this year. From YouTube, you can subscribe with the button in the bottom corner of the video there, or just head to YouTube and search for the Health Resources Hub. By subscribing, you'll get alerts to all of our new videos. You can also head to our website, the hrh.net.au, where there's opportunities for teachers and students. And if you're a Unit 3 and 4 student and you head to that website, scroll to the bottom and you'll see there's a link to register for our free student newsletter, which is coming out twice a term this year with free SAC and exam resources. If you sign up there, you'll get the most recent versions on the day you register. You can also see there our social media links there if you'd like to follow us and get alerts to our new opportunities and when our videos come out, and also our email if you'd like to get in touch. So this is the first of a number of videos looking at common command terms in VCE HHD. And so I'm sure you're probably already aware, having completed assessments across VCE, that there's a range of different command terms that you really need to pay close attention to when answering a question, as they guide you regarding how much detail, and what's expected of you within your answer. And so within different subjects, command terms can mean something slightly different. So it's good to make sure for HHD you've got your head around what a different type of command term is typically asking of you when it appears in a question. So we're going to spend a few moments looking at some of the common command terms in this video here, and then we'll do a couple more videos over the next week or so looking at some of the other ones. So if we start with one of the more simpler command terms but does appear regularly on SACs and the end of year exam, and that is to identify, to state, to list, or to sometimes select a piece of information. And so really what that's asking you to do is just give a specific name of something, without an explanation. So you can see there, if it's asking you just to do this within a question, it doesn't ask you to then explain a reason why something might be linked or associated with something else, then you don't need to provide that information. And so as we go through this video here, you'll see I've included a few questions from past exams to show you just how these common command terms might appear within a question. So you can see there from a past exam, you've had to identify services covered by Medicare or identify a trend that's evident in a graph, but you can see that they're not followed up there by asking you for any kind of explanation or information why. So it's just asking you to provide that piece of information. Over here, you can see that this question here was asking you to list 2 variations in health status that exist between males and females in Australia, and then explain how the difference in factors evident in the graph on page 6 could contribute to these variations. So when you see a question like this, I always encourage my students to start off with the list or the stated piece of information, and then do the second part, the explain, following that. So at the start of your answer, you might have just said something like, males are likely to have a lower life expectancy than females. So you're just starting with that list aspect of the question there to get that addressed, and then the second half of your answer can then be the other part of the question. And then you can see down the bottom there another question. It was within the question, not at the beginning of the sentence, where they said, other than treatment in a public or private hospital, list 1 health service that Stuart could access that's covered by Medicare, and 1 health service that could be accessed through private health insurance. So it doesn't always come right at the start of the question, the command term, but once again, it's not asking you to explain, it's just asking you to list. So then another really common command term is outline. And so when you're asked to outline something, you're typically providing an overview of the main features, or the main features of a particular concept. So you can see here, this question was asking you to outline 2 aspects of the NDIS. So you're providing 2 features or characteristics that are linked to the NDIS. And then down the bottom there, outline an advantage and a limitation of the HDI. So it's more information than you would expect in a list or a state or an identify, but you're not really being asked to explain or link it to anything in particular. You're just outlining, a characteristic or a feature or a piece of information related to something. So then the next one that's pretty common in, the end of your exam, particularly and in SATs, is describe. So that's where you're providing characteristic features and qualities of a given concept. So this can be quite similar, to outline. So don't get too, caught up or stressed about what is the, defining difference between describe and outline, because they can be used sometimes interchangeably. So you can see there, describe mortality, with 1 mark, but then the next one down there, describe old public health. So sometimes these questions could be worth 1 or 2 marks, and that really dictates how much information you should provide in your answer. So I'd always say to my students, if it's worth 2 marks, you should be writing 2 separate sentences that have each got sort of a separate idea or a separate feature to ensure that you're going to be able to hopefully achieve those 2 marks. You can see here, this one's now asking you to describe how the overconsumption of alcohol has an impact on 2 indicators of health status. So you're doing obviously a couple of things in this question here. You're describing, the overconsumption of alcohol and then linking that to a health condition and linking that into health status. So it can appear in various, lengths of questions, that describe command term. Essentially though, for this one here that we're just looking at for 4 marks, you'd be sort of doing that feature, twice, or you're doing that aspect of the question, that describe aspect, twice, because you're linking it to 2 separate indicators of health status. So it is still kind of a describe question that's essentially worth 2 marks, but you're doing it 2 times. And then down the bottom there, select 2 guidelines from the Australian select 2 guidelines from the Australian Dietary Guidelines and describe how each is reflected in the healthy eating pyramid. Okay, so once again, you're linking features or characteristics of these guidelines and how they are then linked to aspects of what's going on in the healthy eating pyramid. And so once again, you're doing it twice for 2 marks. So typically those describe and outline questions kind of fall around that sort of 2 or 1 mark allocation. Okay, hopefully you found that useful. We've got a session coming up on preparing for the extended response question, VCE HHD. So that's coming up on June the 6th and running online from 5 till 6:15 p.m. So this is designed to help students who would like to be, on the front foot preparing for the extended response question. That's always something that students at the end of your exam typically find challenging, and it sometimes appears in your SACs in the second half of the year. And so these are 8 to 10 mark questions. And so this session is designed to help you respond effectively to these questions and give you an edge over other students. So if you register for this session using the link up here, or if you head to our website, you'll get 2 practice extended response questions sent to you to complete prior to the session. Then I'll be going through, how to approach those and answer them and provide you with some sample answers for those in the session, and also via email afterwards. And you'll also get a PDF with advice on how to analyze and link sources, break down the question, and approach structuring and writing your answers. And you'll get a copy of that sent to you after the session, as well as some additional practice questions. So if you're interested in that, you can head along to that link there or our website to register. Thanks so much.